What's going on, everybody? Ryan Thompson, the Assumable Guy. This is the Assumable Guy Show. Today we're answering a question I get all the time from buyers who just found an assumable they love. What if the seller has a second mortgage on the property? Can you still assume it? Does that blow up the whole deal? This one's for you if you found a home with a killer rate and then somebody mentioned the seller's got a HELOC or a second loan on it and now you're nervous. Here we go. So let me perform the fear for you because I know exactly what's going through your head right now. You're thinking, wait, the seller has a second mortgage, so now I'm assuming two loans, two payments. This is getting way too complicated. I'm out, right? Here's what most people don't realize though. You are not assuming their second mortgage. You're not. You only assume the first loan, the FHA, the VA, or the USDA loan. The one with the sweet rate from 2020 or 2021, that second mortgage, that's the seller's problem and it gets cleared at closing. Let me explain what a second mortgage even is. It's a HELOC or a home equity loan the seller took out after they bought the place. Maybe they pulled some cash out to redo the kitchen. It's a separate lien sitting on the property. And when you buy that home, that lien has to come off the title so you get clean ownership. The seller pays it off out of their sale proceeds. Same as any normal sale, right? You don't touch it. All right, this is where it gets real. Let's do the math so you can actually see it. Say the purchase price is $430,000. The seller's first loan, the assumable one, has a balance of $400,000 at 2.99%. So your equity gap, the part you bring, is $30,000. Now the seller also has a $25,000 HELOC on the place. Where does that get paid? Out of the seller's $30,000 in proceeds, not out of your pocket. You still bring $30,000. You still get 2.99%, 2.99% on the same house. Little hack to keep in your back pocket. The seller's second mortgage does not change your rate at all. You step into that first loan exactly like the second loan was never there. Now I want to make this super clear because there is one scenario where a second mortgage can actually cause a problem. What if the seller owes more combined than the home is worth? Picture it. $400,000 on the first plus a $45,000 second. That's $445,000 owed on a home worth $430,000. Now the seller is $15,000 short. They can't clear that second lien with the sale alone, so they either bring cash to the table or they negotiate a payoff with the second lender or the deal stalls out. I've seen it happen. And that is exactly why I pull the title and check every lien on the property early. I promise you, we figure this out before you're emotionally attached to the place. Let me tell you about Ben and Liz. They put $16,000 down on a $430,000 home and locked in a 2.99% rate. The seller had a small HELOC on it. We knew about it in week one. The seller cleared it out of their proceeds and we closed clean. The second mortgage was a non-issue. It was just a line item on the seller's side of the closing statement. And honestly, a lot of the time, these equity gaps are smaller than you'd expect. Folks who bought in 2020 and 2021, a lot of them overpaid a little. If it's a VA loan, they wrap the closing fees right into it. So they don't have this giant pile of equity you have to buy out. Sometimes the gap is $15,000, $20,000, even with a second loan in the picture. Now, here's the thing people mix up all the time, so let me separate it out for you. There's the seller's second mortgage, which is their lien, and they clear it. And then there's a gap loan that you might take out to cover your equity gap. Two completely different things. One is the seller cleaning up their side. The other is a tool you use to bring less cash to the table. Don't let anybody blur those together and scare you off a good deal. Now you might be thinking, okay, but doesn't that second mortgage give the bank one more reason to blow up my deal? No. The bank on the first loan does not care about the seller's second. Their loan gets assumed either way. The second lien is between the seller and a totally different lender. These two things don't even talk to each other. So how does it actually work at closing? The second lien holder has to release the lien once they get paid. Sometimes that second lender drags their feet a little. It happens. But your assumption processor and the title company handle that payoff. This is routine stuff for them. They do it in their sleep. Now, if you're a seller listening to this real quick, if you've got a second mortgage or a HELOC on your place, it does not block you from selling as an assumable. You just pay it off at closing out of your equity, exactly like you would in a normal sale. Your low first mortgage rate is still the thing that makes buyers line up. So let's bring it home. A seller having a second mortgage is almost never the deal breaker people think it is, right? You assume the first loan, you get the rate, and the second lien gets cleared at the closing table. The only time to slow down is when the seller owes more than the home is worth, and that is exactly the thing I check for you up front. All right, let's go get some sweet properties. I'm Ryan Thompson. This is the Assumable Guy Show. If you found an assumable and you want to know if the numbers actually work, hit up assumableguy.com or DM me on Instagram at the.assumable.guy. I'll run the numbers for you. No pressure, just math. Next episode, we're flipping over to the seller side. Is my low interest rate actually a selling point? I'm going to show you why that rate might be the single most valuable thing you own when it's time to sell. See you on the next one.